Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. On the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive who remembers that famous day and year.
He said to his friend, if the British march by land or sea from the town tonight, a lantern aloft in the belfry arch of the North Church shout out as a signal light, one if by land and two if by sea.
And I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride as a threat and alarm through every Middlesex village and farm, for the country folk to be up and to arm.
Then he said good night, and with a muffled oar silently rowed to the Charleston shore. Just as the moon rose over the bay, where swinging wide at her moorings lay
the Somerset British man of war, and a phantom ship with each mast and spar, across the moon like a prison bar, and a huge black hulk that was magnified
by its own reflection in the tide. Meanwhile his friend through alley and street wanders and watches with eager ears, till in the silence around him he hears
the muster of men and the barrack doors, the sound of arms and the tramp of feet, and the measured tread of the grenadiers marching down to their boats on the shore.
It was 12 by the village clock when he crossed the bridge into Medford town. He heard the crying of the cock and the barking of the foreman's dog, and felt the damp of the river fog that rises after the sun goes down.
It was 1 by the village clock when he galloped into Lexington. He saw the gilded weathercock swim in the moonlight as he passed,
and the meeting-house windows, blank and bare, gazed at him with a spectral glare as if they already stood aghast at the bloody work they would look upon.
It was 2 by the village clock when he came to the bridge in Concord town. He heard the bleating of the flock and the twitter of the birds among the trees, and felt the breath of the morning breeze blowing over the meadow brown. And one was safe asleep in his bed, who at the bridge would be first to fall, who that day would be lying dead, pierced by a British musket ball.
Then he climbed the tower of the old North Church by the wooden stairs with stealthy tread to the belfry chamber overhead, and startled the pigeons from their perch on the sombre rafters that round him made masses of moving shapes of shade. By the trembling ladder, steep and tall, to the highest window in the wall, where he paused to listen and look down a moment on the roofs of the town, and the moonlight flowing over all. Beneath in the churchyard lay the dead in their night encampment on the hill, wrapped in silence so deep and still that he could hear like a sentinel's tread the watchful night wind as it went, creeping along from tent to tent and seeming to whisper, all is well. A moment only he feels the spell of the place and the hour and the secret dread of the lonely belfry and the dead. For suddenly all his thoughts are bent on the shadowy something far away, where the river widens to meet the bay, a line of black that bends and floats on the rising tide like a bridge of boats.